such an honour to meet you. I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. Tell us, what can audiences expect from The Old Oak?
Well, I hope they can expect a good story, some characters they'd like to meet, maybe people that you don't usually see on the screen, and to puzzle over the contradictions in the world, in the stories that it tells. Contradictions between people in the village where the film is set, the difficulties faced by strangers who don't speak the language, who've been through the trauma of a war, and finding out how the story is resolved, because it's not certain, which side will win, hostility or friendship, and it's touch and go.
Some could say you almost see it as a trilogy with I, Daniel Blake, with Sorry We Missed You, sort of tackling austerity, the gig economy, and now immigration. Why was this topic so important to tackle on screen?
The first two films are about the social hardship that the current economic system has imposed on people: hunger, exhaustion, destruction of family life, and so on. Poverty, extreme poverty. But what interested us was that in the same area, in the northeast, there are mining villages that are the perfect example of how our society was destroyed. When the mines were shut by Thatcher, not because she was an environmentalist, but to destroy the miners' union, when they were closed, neither her government nor Blair's government put any investment in to provide work to keep the communities alive. And they were left to rot. And what's happened to them is desperate. And nobody seemed, the press don't notice, nobody notices because it's up in the northeast. So that was the story we began with. And then Paul Laverty heard the story of the Syrians arriving. And their presence was the catalyst that it exposes all the problems that there are in those old communities, and why people who were strong are now lost. Many of them, many not. So in a way, it's a story of the village, as well as also try to say something of the plight of the refugees.
It's such an incredible cast you've got, and this array of characters, and what's impressive is also not villainising anybody. This isn't about people on two sides, the good and the bad, but in fact showing that everyone's a victim of the current climate. So is it really important to find this incredible cast and bring those characters to life?
Yes, absolutely. You see, one of the things that kills cinema is this American idea of the good guys and the bad guys. I hate hearing that, because everyone comes from somewhere, and they learn, they pick up hostility, and that's a manipulation. And it's the hostility to immigrants is manipulated to divide ordinary people, because if they're divided, they don't see who the people where the system that is really destroying their lives. I mean, the health service isn't being destroyed because of the immigrants. Immigrants have kept it going. Our transport isn't falling apart because people are looking for shelter in small boats. It's a myth. But of course it suits the people at the top to divide us on the question of immigration. So one thing we want to say is don't be fooled. Don't be fooled.
And what do you hope people take away? Because it does feel like there's a thread of hope in this film, and hopefully people can take away that message of community. But also this seems, through cinema, you really want to make change or highlight these issues. For something, it feels like a calling for you.
Well, if you tell a story, everyone inevitably is about the world the characters live in. And we know our world is in great difficulty at the moment. I mean, facing collapse apart from anything else. So, of course, you have to reflect the society. But, I mean, you talk about hope, and obviously that's something everybody's talking about now. But hope isn't wishful thinking. Hope isn't crossing your fingers. Hope is knowing there is a path, and the path is viable. And then the question is, what is the path? And that's a political question. So it's hope is fine, but don't let's think it's not sending a note up the chimney to Father Christmas, you know. It's hope you have to work for.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing all that with me. I can't wait for everyone to see your film. Lovely to chat to you. Thank you.